As soon as you come into a room as a speaker, I gotta find me a corner, so I'm not turning my back to anybody, okay? So it's not out of disrespect. I want to be able to see everybody's face if you're not. Well, thank you all for having me, or I should say, let me invade this meeting, I guess we'd say. It's great to be here with you all. I just want to share with you right quick. I have two very special individuals with me tonight. They're the most biased people I could find, and my oldest sister and my youngest sister. My younger sister said I'm going to be in Livingston on Tuesday night. She's in Texas. She says I'm coming. No, I'm coming. That's not true. But she was great to be able to come to Livingston. So thank you all. Continue your bias campaign. My name is John Henry. I'm from over in Smith County, Carthage. I just talked to a gentleman who said they remember when Carthage came to town. And I did talk to Jackson County the other night. They kind of said the same thing. Gary Rankin was our head coach, and today he is the winningest football coach in Tennessee State history. So I'm not going to tell you how the game probably went, but it may not. I'm just saying I'm here. I bring tidings, happiness. It probably wasn't happy on that Friday night when we came here. He was a monster. I tell you, we just laughed. I talked to a long-term Marine over there. He said, "Well, I guess Gary Rankin got you ready for the Marine Corps." And that leads me into first. I've got to start by saying the foundation of who I am, my Lord and Savior. But real close to that, to be honest with you, is my wife. And some of you all met. She's awesome. I mean, some people shouldn't use that word. I get to use that word. She is incredible. She really is. And you all see her at the fairs and the booths and so forth like that. She's an incredible human being. We've been married for 35 years, 36 years coming up. So she gets a humanitarian medal at the end of the time. She's been married to me that long. We literally were married 10 days before I went to the Marine Corps on January 22nd. I know, right? A January wedding? Well, she was bound determined. We're getting married before you head off the Marine Corps. And we were married 10 years later, off we went. I was raised on a small farm over in Smith County. My father inherited that farm when he was 16 years old. His father was older and passed away, and there he was. He and his mother with 500 acres. Oh, Lord. It's funny because my dad, from 16 years old till he passed away unexpectedly in February, never did anything but farm. Now, I do have some people with farming background in here, and that was impossible to do. You had to have some kind of second job some way. It's just no way to survive during what was called the 70s and 80s farm crisis. It was horrible. We raised feeder pigs, we had 50 head of cattle, row crops, but the big cash crop for us was tobacco. Most of our tobacco is grown in South America and imported now. But it wasn't back then. We had the opportunity to be independent from the government. We bought pounds from our neighbors so that way we didn't overproduce. And then big government came to town. And when it went off the pound system and went to what's called government contracts. Kind of a little sneaky move there, and some of you all know what I'm talking about. And sooner or later, dried up the whole tobacco industry. So I joined the Marine Corps after a lot of hard work, and I tell people, my joke is, and a number of people, I see a couple of people at White County, and I said, hey, I need a break from this farm stuff. Oh my gosh, tobacco, hay in the summer, working with other farmers. So I joined the Marine Corps. I said, it's going to be easier. But it really did. Between Gary Rankin and farm life got me ready for the Marine Corps. And I joined, and for 27 years I served from a private to a sergeant major, the highest enlisted rank for the last 7 years of my time there. Well, the reason I'm running is because I think we need a different cut of cloth going to D.C. Right? As a Marine, I'm not a career politician, never been a politician, not the political class at all. But I do know where I come from, and I know small towns like Livingston, Tennessee, close to where I was born and raised. I know you all know what you've gone through. A little of that history is not only did tobacco go, you can have a dairy with about 100 cows, Holstein or Jersey cows. Here comes big government in the late 80s. And they made contracts with dairymen and eventually bought all the dairy cows out. And now you have industrialized milk industry. Well, it's for food safety. Right. Either way, no more small dairies. So they got the feeder pigs gone, got small dairies. You see the theme that I'll continue to talk about both now and all the way sliding into our August primary is, notice how everything we had that made us independent from government was absorbed into the government. My life, the way I lived, was absorbed by big government. And I got 15 minutes for the sisters, so keep me on line. I could yap on a long time. And so the one main reasons I am running is because I've lived your life. I've lived, some of you all had school teachers, and they always raised 2 or 3 acres of tobacco because their meager salaries. By the time they stripped it back in the winter, that was their Christmas gifts. And they had great Christmases, right? Dirt poor. Same thing with our family. We had 7 siblings, my 2 sisters back there, and the other siblings we had. We worked hard. When I joined the Marine Corps, I joined in January of 1990. If you all remember, in January of 1990 was 8 months before what we called Desert Shield. And lo and behold, as a Marine, do we have any Navy here? No, usually happens in the Navy. You need a ride, Marine? No, I don't need another ride. And that's what I did. I jumped on a ship and we steamed off to the Middle East. I served in Desert Storm 10 months. George Bush said, get on your boats, come back home, we know what we're supposed to do. Right. Marines, we kind of wanted to run Saddam back into Iraq and get a little Baghdad fun going on. He said, nope, get back on your ships, come home. 10 years later, I have to tell you, 9/11, and now in a long war. So I served 2 times, 2 tours in Iraq, and 1 tour in Afghanistan. I finished my tour off in Okinawa, Japan as the director of the schoolhouse there. Blessed job. I got to pick the best Marines from all Far East, and they were great. Hardcore, physical fitness, smart to teach, great speakers. I say all that because I had a storied career. I had a great career. It's hard to say all the places I've been, all the places I've served, all the men I've served with and women, and all the commanders I've served with has given me an incredible cloth that I wear today. It's who I am. And I say that also because you all have a Marine Corps. You all pay for a Marine Corps. And that Marine Corps makes leaders. Make leaders that run toward the gunfire, not away from it. And that's what we're known for. Go all the way back to the Revolutionary War where Marines served to current day. We're on ships and on shore around the world. That experience, I coalesced with a lot of Marines and veterans as well. I was a commander of the American Legion. Just asked another gentleman, please run. I've got a campaign run. Our meetings tonight, so I had to tell them, going to be a little bit occupied. Going up in some more God's country in Livingston. And so, my whole life has been about experiences that I can bring to this campaign, this race. I'll tell you a couple of things on my platform, and then Mr. Garrett will be up here. I can tell you that all the candidates in the race, there's a difference in us all. We're nothing alike. And you get to choose who serves you. For me, the first thing is, well, I was born and raised with, we're losing 9 acres an hour in Tennessee to industrialization. 9 acres an hour. And what's happening, you all know what's happening, it's affecting everything we do in a lot of areas, especially rural America, rural Tennessee. There's 4 major food producers, packers, not producers, don't produce anything, that run our entire proteins in America. Beef, pork, and chicken are all run by those 4. I don't think that's right. I think our proteins need to be raised and produced and packaged in regional areas. You all know a little small area up in Tennessee where we have one of the largest packing plants in Nashville. And in Nashville, you sold your hogs to a local stockyard and they got shipped to Nashville. Remember the road called Elm Hill Pike? Sound familiar? Elm Hill Pike had one of the largest pork producing slaughterhouses there, and that pork was all over the Southeast. Right? It was produced locally, it was sold locally, and it was processed locally. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to get back to that. That's my biggest platform that I have experience in that very few others will. We have to change that. That monopoly, when will the faucet be turned off? Will it be turned off? China bought Smithfield Farms, which some of you all know. And we know Brazil has an 80% market share in our cattle industry. 80%. Think about that. So my big push will be to coalesce with a group of veterans and other like-minded farmer types and get enough people behind so we can stop this monopoly. It just has to stop. And the only thing that can do that is the American government. I hate to say that, because I just told you the American government shattered everything in my dreams when I was a kid. So I plan on doing it. The next thing is, on a macro level, President Trump is bringing businesses back. You all heard about the Apple contract going in Kentucky, multi-billion-dollar contract. All right, I'm on the micro level because I was born micro. I believe these small factories. You all remember when NAFTA came to town in the 90s. In Carthage, we had a shirt factory, a sock factory, and a clock factory. Clocks are now made in, come on,
China.
that's right, baby, China. Shirts are made in Venezuela or Vietnam or Far East. And t-shirts are made here all around. Why? Well, John, because it's a low-paying job, you can't make money. Has anybody bought a 3-pack of white t-shirts lately? You're telling me if you bring a shirt factory back to Carthage, Tennessee, that you can't make a profit on a $25 3-pack of white t-shirts? $25. So we were again sold another bill of goods by the U.S. government, dry us up, and all the small businesses went away. That shirt factory, there's a lot of older people that work in those shirt factories. Couldn't make them meet some